Shift into park while rolling just 3 kilometers per hour and the parking pawl can shear clean off. $1 per $1,000 gearbox gone in 3 seconds. Today, we'll expose 18 silent killers hiding in your everyday driving habits, and the last one is so counterintuitive even racing instructors get it wrong. What's the one automatic car habit you secretly suspect is harmful? Drop it in the comments before we prove or debunk confession typed. Good luck on every upcoming fix by smashing subscribe and flicking the bell so your gearbox gets tomorrow's tips today. 1. Skip the parking brake. Pay twice. Think your automatic locks itself safely when you slide into park. Not quite. Every time you skip the parking brake and rely on the transmission's thin steel parking pawl, the entire weight of your car presses on a peg the size of your pinky. Over time, that constant load warps the pawl, scars the gear, and invites a ghastly clunk when you shift out. Your first clue: a $2,000 repair bill is warming up backstage. Gravity never sleeps. A Boston valet told me he lost count of pawls snapped on steep docks. Pull the parking brake before releasing the foot brake. You spread the load, spare the pawl, and keep your wallet intact. 2. Riding brakes downhill harmless or heat grenade? Ever ride the brakes down a long hill because coasting feels reckless? That seemingly gentle, continuous pedal pressure quietly boils your automatic's transmission fluid because the torque converter is forced to churn at maximum slip while the calipers roast near 400 degrees Celsius. Within minutes, the fluid thins, clutch packs glaze, and your next shift hunts like a distracted puppy. First stage of a $5,000 rebuild. Heat loves metal. A Swiss Alpine taxi fleet slashed gearbox failures by 70% after retraining drivers to downshift early. Tap release the brake and let the engine shoulder the slope. Do the same every descent, starting today. 3. Neutral at red lights. Grandpa's tip. Today's disaster. Picture this: rush hour gridlock. You bump the shifter into neutral hoping to save the gearbox while waiting at a red light. Instead, the pump inside your transmission suddenly loses pressure, starving bearings and clutch packs of vital oil flow designed for drive or park over multiple lights. That micro drought scorches Teflon seals, inviting flare-ups the instant green arrives, and the repair quote reads like mortgage paperwork. Oil hates idle surprises. Fun fact: modern stop-start systems keep the pump spinning precisely to dodge this old neutral habit. Leave it in drive, hold the brake, and let the engineer's design protect the INTERNALS. 4. R&D shuffle while moving. My costly teenage mistake. I was 17, rolling out of a cramped driveway, when I flicked from reverse to drive before the car stopped. The jolt felt harmless until the gearbox locked. 6 months later, $3,800 evaporating from my college fund. Inside, that split-second shuffle slam, a spinning planetary set against a stationary clutch drum, 12 tiny gear teeth surrendered in a single click. Steel remembers every jerk. A Canadian remanufacturer told me over coffee that 70% of mystery rebuilds show impact scoring from rolling shifts. Always let the wheels still before changing direction. Pause, shift, then go. Your gears will thank you silently. 5. Idling to warm up. Feels caring, burns bearings. Still letting your automatic idle for 10 minutes on frosty mornings? Modern engines reach operating temperature faster under gentle load, while the transmission's fluid pump dislikes lounging in park. Its pressure curve is lowest right when you think you're being kind. Meanwhile, raw fuel condenses on cold cylinder walls and washes protective oil from bearings. Warmth comes from motion. Mazda engineers calculate that 2 minutes of light driving slashes were versus 10 minutes of idle soak. Dual win. Less fuel. Start. Fasten the belt. Defog the glass and roll out gingerly. Your heater kicks in sooner and the gearbox stays happier. 6. Late change lane weaving. Transmission's hidden whiplash. Picture merging onto a busy highway, stomping hard mid-shift to dart for a better lane as the gearbox swaps ratios. Lateral G-forces fling transmission fluid away from the pickup filter, starving clutch pistons for half a heartbeat. That dry contact scorches friction material. Microscopic, yes, but additive fluid hates gymnastics. ZF's senior engineer told Road and Track that repeated high G shifts can shorten clutch life by 40% and overlook stat buried in warranty data. Plan your lane change before the shift or breathe off the throttle until settled. Smooth steering equals smooth lubrication, and smooth lubrication equals long velvet shifts. 7. Ignoring weird shifts. Your car already texted SOS. Ever notice the gearbox hesitate between second and third and just shrug it off? That fleeting stutter means a clutch pack slipped, spiked to 250 degrees Celsius, and ordered the transmission control module to file an SOS the dashboard won't reveal until the next software cycle. An ancient teardown survey found 87% of dead automatics had logged those pending codes at least for 100 kilometers before failure. Plenty of time for a cheap fix. Silence isn't safety. A Sydney fleet mechanic told me that single skin spared 12 taxis last winter. Grab a €25 Bluetooth scanner, read the faults, and schedule service before stutter becomes smoke. 8. Cheap fluids, premium damage. Picture grabbing a dusty jug of Universal ATF at a highway mini-mart because the label screams half price. That Birkin brew uses low-grade base oil and generic friction modifiers that shear 30% faster, thinning the microscopic film separating clutch plates the instant you launch from the next light. Dana's lubricant lab found a mere 10 degrees Celsius viscosity drop doubled varnish buildup and shortened seal life by 40,000 kilometers. Premium damage in disguise. A veteran Honda tech showed me clutches black as charcoal after one summer on discount fluid. Cheap masks costly. Spend the extra €15 on OEM spec or full synthetic fluid and stick to the schedule. Smooth shifts stay priceless. 9. Sport mode addiction. Fun now, fry later. Back when I borrowed my brother's GTI, I left sport mode engaged for every grocery run because the exhaust crackles were addictive. The transmission controller pumped higher line pressure and held lower gears, raising fluid temperature by 25 degrees Celsius and sprinkling metal shavings into the pan. After just 3,000 spirited kilometers, my apology arrived with a €200 filter kit. A track instructor later told me he never uses sport mode off track for exactly that reason. Nissan endurance tests show every 20 degrees Celsius rise halves a TF life, so reserve sport for warm engines and clear roads, then cruise gently a minute before parking. Thrill bills later. Smash subscribe if you've spotted a habit you'll ditch today. There's 9 more coming, and the last might save you a tow truck. 10. Towing in drive. Gearbox grief on a rope. Ever pull a stranded friend a few blocks with their ignition on and shifter in D so the steering wouldn't lock? You just spun their transmission pump dry. Wheels turned the output shaft, but the internal pump engine driven sat motionless, starving clutches of oil while gears whirled at road speed. A 2020 for a teardown audit linked 6 of every 10 sudden gearbox seizures to friendly flat tows under 10 kilometers. Dry metal screams. Use neutral and stay under the manual's distance limit or lift the driven wheels entirely. Proper tow protocol costs €60. A cooked transmission, about €6,000. Choose the cheaper hook. 11. DIY flush fails. Teflon, 1 bill. Planning a backyard power flush because YouTube says new fluid fixes everything? Ask yourself this. Where will decades of varnish dislodged? At 80s I actually go. Fact 1. GM's service bulletin reports a 35% spike in solenoid failures after unfiltered reverse flushes. Fact 2. Independent shops earn more on cleaning debris-jammed valve bodies than on full rebuilds. Perversely profitable carnage. Pressure isn't precision. Instead, drain 3 liters, refill with OEM spec, drive a week, and repeat twice. You dilute contaminants without blasting them loose, and the total cost stays below a single tow. Gradual change equals graceful shifts. 12. Overloading roof rack. Transmission bears the weight. Picture a holiday road trip, bikes, cargo box, and kayak stacked proudly overhead. Your car's silhouette now mimics a refrigerator, forcing the gearbox to hold lower gears against 30% more aerodynamic drag at 120 km/h. Volvo wind tunnel data shows every extra 45 kilograms on the roof raises transmission sump temperature by 12 degrees Celsius. On summer highways enough to oxidize fluid twice as fast, drag punishes quietly. Shift bulky gear to the boot. Keep roof loads under the manual's 75 kilograms limit, and drop cruise speed 10 kilometers per hour when you must stack tall. Cooler fluid. Longer holidays. 13. Stop-start overkill. When eco turns expensive, using auto stop-start in 8 minutes. Bumper-to-bumper crawls feels saintly for the planet, but your hydraulic pump may disagree. Many transmissions rely on the engine's crank to keep fluid pressure above 50 psi. Shut down repeatedly, and clutch packs pinch dry while solenoids cycle in limbo. ZF bench tests showed seal were doubled after 30,000 stop-start events. About a year of city commuting, eco can be pricey. If your car lacks an electric auxiliary pump, check the manual. Tap the disable button during extreme congestion or summer heat, then re-enable on open roads. A small dash light now can save a huge shop invoice later. 14. Mismatched tires. Mismatched gears. Think mixing to new tires with to half-worn to save cash is harmless? All-wheel drive automatics juggle torque based on wheel speed, so a 4 mm circumference difference makes the computer think you're cornering forever. It locks clutches, generating 60 degrees Celsius hotspots in under 5 minutes, according to a 2023 Subaru Technical Bulletin. Mismatch ruins harmony. One Colorado shop photographs every transfer case autopsy, blued steel, scorched fluid, uneven tires, all repeat offenders. Rotate rubber every 8,000 kilometers, measure tread depth monthly, and replace in full sets if the spread tops to millimeters. Cheap rubber math today prevents gearbox algebra tomorrow. 15. Flood puddles. Water versus torque converter. Last autumn I forded what looked like an innocent curb-deep puddle. 2 weeks later the car lurched, then slipped like a buttered eel. Water had seeped past the front seal, mixing with ATF into strawberry milkshake that foamed under load. Atria labs show even 1% water drops friction coefficient by 50%, pitting clutch fibers overnight. Water shreds clutches if you must splash through standing water. Pause afterward, idle and park for a minute to sling droplets off internal fins, then drive gently to evaporate moisture. Better yet, detour around lagoons. Tow bills rise faster than floodwater. 16. Skipping software updates. Hidden fixes you never felt. When was the last time you updated your transmission's brain? Many drivers never do, yet automakers drop quiet calibration patches that raise line pressure, rewrite shift timing, and even unlock extra cooling when sensors see heavy loads. Skip one and you're driving on beta software. In 2022, a Toyota TSB showed gearbox warranty claims on the 8-speed fell 42% after a simple flash that took technicians 9 minutes. Code heals metal. Dealers will flash most modules free under service campaigns, and some cars allow USB updates at home. Check your VIN online tonight. Book the flash and let fresh code lubricate every shift. 17. Lead foot reverse snap. Goes the sun gear. Imagine jabbing the throttle in reverse to rocket out of a tight spot. The wheels snap backward, but inside. The sun gear meets a 3,000 Nm shock wave 5 times what it sees in drive because torque travels the long way through the gear stack. Ford's powertrain lab traced dozens of shattered 6-speed units to exactly that parking lot stunt, and the average rebuild ran $1,600 plus 3 lost workdays. Sudden torque shatters teeth. Ease into reverse like stepping onto thin ice. Let the tires roll half a rotation, then add power smoothly. Treat reverse as first gear in disguise, and your gearbox will treat your savings like sacred glass. 18. Lifetime. Fluid myth engineer speaks while it weeps. Lifetime fluid is a marketing term, not an engineering promise, warns Dr. Claudia Meyer, senior tribologist at ZF, during a 2024 SAE keynote. Her lab watched ATF lose 15% viscosity and double acid content after 80,000 kilometers of high-temp cycling, still well inside many cars so-called lifetime. A Berlin taxi cooperative proved the point, swapping fluid every 60,000 kilometers stretched gearbox. Life passed for 150,000 kilometers, saving 3,200 euros per car in overhaul costs. Lifetime means warranty. Check your owner's manual for severe duty intervals, install a drain plug if none exists, and book a fluid change before the odometer forgets to whisper a warning. 18 quiet habits. 1. Deafening bill. Respect the parking brake. Love cool fluid. And let software do silent miracles. Build these into muscle memory today, and your automatic will glide like it's coated in Teflon for years. Craving more mechanical peace of mind? Next week, we expose the everyday routines silently murdering your hybrid's battery pack. And one tip comes straight from a Tokyo taxi lab. Hit that bell so the fix finds you first. Smooth care, smooth ride, not professional advice. Consult a qualified expert as needed.